All right, so picture this. It's December 1872.
Okay.
We're on the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, right? And a ship called the Dea Gratia is
Oh.
making its way through the waves when, off in the distance,
Uh-huh.
they spot something strange.
Mhm.
Another vessel just kind of drifting aimlessly.
Oh, wow.
And this is where our deep dive begins
Okay.
into the tale of the Mary Celeste,
Yeah.
a ship as famous for its eerie abandonment as it is for the mysteries that still surround it, right?
Absolutely. And you're right to call it a deep dive because unlike so many other maritime mysteries, we're not dealing with a wreck swallowed by the sea or a ship torn apart by storms or anything like that.
Right.
The Mary Celeste was found, you could say, in surprisingly good shape,
Yeah.
which only makes the question of what happened to everyone on board even more perplexing.
It really does. It's like walking onto a movie set, like a ghost story, but this is all too real.
Right.
And the unpack it all, we've got a whole stack of articles here from the Smithsonian, history.com, even a piece by the folks at Museum Hack who always bring a unique perspective,
Yeah.
Before we even crack open these files, though, I bet you're already familiar with, like, the basics of the Mary Celeste, right?
I would wager you're right. Yeah, it's one of those stories that gets passed down and reimagined through generations.
Totally, yeah. So today we're going beyond the surface. We're going deep into the finer details, the lesser-known facts,
Okay.
and see if together, we can navigate towards any satisfying answers.
And what I find really interesting about this is that even with all we know now about the Mary Celeste,
Yeah.
there's a strange echo of this event in how we still react to the unknown, especially at sea.
You're right. I mean, even today, even with GPS,
Right.
instantaneous communication,
Yeah.
the ocean can feel like this massive, unknowable force.
Uh-huh.
So imagine what it must have been like back then in 1872.
Precisely. So
Yeah.
to truly grasp the weight of this mystery, we need to step back in time and understand not just what happened, but the context in which it occurred.
Okay, so back to that ship drifting aimlessly.
Yeah.
It was the Dei Gratia that first encountered the Mary Celeste.
Yeah.
And their captain, David Morehouse, he actually knew the Mary Celeste's captain, a man by the name of Benjamin Briggs.
Wow. Can you imagine sailing the high seas
I know.
and you come across a ship captained by someone you know and it's completely deserted?
And it's your buddy, and he's just not there.
Yeah.
Morehouse must have known, like, instantly something was terribly wrong.
Absolutely.
Especially because, from what I understand, the Mary Celeste was practically pristine.
Yeah.
There were no signs of a struggle. There were plenty of supplies.
Right.
It wasn't like they had been attacked by pirates or hit by some terrible storm.
Exactly. And this is where the mystery deepens.
Yeah.
The Dei Gratia found 6 months' worth of food and water still on board the Mary Celeste, personal belongings untouched.
Wow.
Even like a half-eaten meal just sitting on the table. It's as if the crew vanished into thin air.
So who were these people
Yeah.
who disappeared so completely? Like, let's meet Captain Briggs
Okay.
and the others who were on board the Mary Celeste on that fateful voyage.
So Benjamin Briggs was, by all accounts, a seasoned captain, very well respected in the maritime world, more than just an experienced seaman.
Yeah.
He was also a devout family man.
Okay.
He actually had his wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia,
Oh, wow.
sailing with him.
A family sailing together?
I know.
That detail always
Dude,
gets me.
It makes it that much.
It makes it so real,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so much more eerie, I think.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they weren't alone.
Okay.
Briggs had also assembled a crew of 7 experienced sailors.
Okay.
They left New York on November 7th, 1872.
Okay.
Destination, Genoa, Italy.
All right.
Now, their cargo was 7,701 barrels of denatured alcohol.
Okay. So before we get into the theories, because I know there are a lot,
Oh, yeah.
we've got to unpack this denatured alcohol thing. What is it? And could it be a clue?
Right. So denatured alcohol is essentially ethanol that's had other chemicals added to it to make it toxic.
Okay.
And they do this to discourage people from drinking it because, regular alcohol was heavily taxed back then.
Ah, so it's like a way to ship alcohol without all those taxes.
Exactly.
Clever.
Yeah.
I can already see how that might play into some of the wilder theories.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, even knowing it's coming, this idea of a ship full of, like, potentially explosive alcohol just kind of drifting out there,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of unsettling, like a setup for a thriller movie or something.
It really does sound like that. And Hollywood hasn't been shy about capitalizing on that, let me tell you.
Right, right.
But before we get too swept away by, sensationalism,
Right.
let's remember, denatured alcohol,
Yeah.
while flammable,
Yeah.
not exactly nitroglycerin.
Okay, good point. So if we're gonna even entertain this whole exploding alcohol theory, like we need some hard evidence. What did those investigators find when they actually boarded the Mary Celeste?
Well, they did find 9 of those alcohol barrels completely empty,
Mm.
which certainly adds fuel to the fire, so to speak.
Right.
So some folks theorize that leaking fumes could have triggered a small explosion,
Okay.
or perhaps just a very kind of credible fear of an explosion, leading Briggs to order everyone into the lifeboat.
That's the thing, though, right? If you're
Mhm.
genuinely worried about your ship exploding,
Yeah.
wouldn't a tiny lifeboat in the middle of the Atlantic be like the last place you want to be?
Right.
It's trading one danger for like a different, probably worse danger.
You're right. You've hit upon one of the main kind of flaws with that theory, right? It just doesn't track logically.
Yeah.
Plus, if there had been an explosion, there would have been fire damage.
Right.
And remember, the Dea Gracia reported no signs of fire whatsoever.
So scratch that theory off the list.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that still leaves us with the biggest question of all. Why would a seasoned captain like Briggs, along with his family and his crew, just abandon like a perfectly seaworthy ship?
I know, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
And over the years, countless theories have been proposed,
Right.
ranging from the plausible to, like, downright fantastical.
Oh, I love the fantastical ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, giant sea monsters, alien abductions. Let's hear it.
Well, while I am all for a good maritime monster story, I think in this case, the truth is probably far more grounded in the realities of seafaring in the late 19th century.
Okay, you're piquing my curiosity. What kind of realities are we talking about?
Let's talk about navigation.
Okay.
Remember, this was long before the days of GPS, satellite communication, anything like that.
Right.
Back then, captains relied heavily on celestial navigation,
Okay.
using instruments like sextants,
Yeah.
and crucially, extremely accurate chronometers to determine their position.
Chronometers, those are like super precise clocks, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And even a slight error in a chronometer's reading could throw off a ship's calculated position by miles, particularly on these long voyages.
Wow.
So here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Evidence suggests that the Mary Celeste's chronometer may have been malfunctioning.
So Briggs might have been sailing blind, essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
That's terrifying.
It's a scary thought, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that uncertainty, like you don't know for sure where you are
Oh my gosh.
in this vastness of the ocean.
Yeah.
Now, add to that another crucial detail. The Mary Celeste, before this, had been used to transport coal,
Okay.
right? So I'm trying to connect the dots here.
Yeah.
Coal, faulty chronometer, what am I missing?
I'm with you.
Coal dust.
Ah, okay.
Remember those pumps that the Dea Gracia found disassembled?
Yes.
It's possible those pumps had become clogged with coal dust from the ship's previous cargo.
Okay, so if the pumps weren't working correctly,
Yeah,
then Briggs wouldn't have been able to like accurately gauge how much water was in the hold.
exactly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Are you suggesting that Briggs, thinking his ship was taking on water because of a faulty chronometer reading and these, potentially compromised pumps,
Yeah.
decided to just abandon ship
Mm-hmm.
with his family and his crew?
It's a theory that holds a lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
Picture the scene, rough seas, navigation's off, and there's this growing fear that the Mary Celeste is slowly sinking.
Yeah.
In that moment of panic, ordering everyone into the lifeboat
Hmm.
might have felt like the only option.
But why have they found the lifeboat? Or any trace of, like, the passengers, if that's the case?
That's the heart of the mystery, isn't it? Maybe the lifeboat capsized rough seas. Maybe
Yeah.
they drifted far off course, lost and alone in the vast Atlantic.
Right.
We may never know their fate.
It's a tragic story no matter how you look at it.
It really is.
But there's one more chapter to this tale, and it's almost as strange as the disappearance itself.
It is. You're talking about the insurance scam.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of a movie. It really does. Years after the Mary Celeste was found drifting, the ship was deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti in an attempt to collect insurance money.
I know.
And get this, the captain who orchestrated the whole scam
Yeah.
died soon after under suspicious circumstances.
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
It's like you can't make this stuff up.
It's like insult to injury, right?
Yeah.
Already this story shrouded in mystery and tragedy.
Yeah,
Now it's got this, like, weird insurance scam tied to it.
right. It's like the ship itself was cursed or something.
Yeah, it really adds kind of a strange coda to the whole story, but perhaps instead of a curse.
Yeah.
We should see it as a final reminder
Yeah.
of how the Mary Celeste continues to capture our imaginations, right?
Right.
This kind of microcosm of the enduring power of the sea, the mysteries that it holds.
Yeah, for sure.
It is really remarkable how a single event from, like, over a century ago
I know.
can still hold such allure, you know?
It's true. And it's like, the Mary Celeste has become this, like, floating Rorschach test where we project our own fears and fascinations and theories onto this, like, empty vessel, just trying to fill the void.
Trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it, I think, such a kind of a rich topic for exploration,
Yes,
right?
no.
We've combed through the historical records,
Yeah.
examined the evidence or lack thereof,
Yeah.
and we've entertained a range of explanations. From
Yeah.
the sensible
Yeah.
to the supernatural. I mean,
Right. And I have to say, even with all that we've uncovered today,
yeah,
I don't feel any closer to a definitive answer,
yeah.
you know?
And maybe that's okay. you
Yeah.
know? Some mysteries just, they resist easy solutions.
True, but that doesn't mean we should stop searching.
No, of course not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many theories have been proposed over the years.
I know, it's crazy.
Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle,
Oh, well,
like the creator of Sherlock Holmes, took a crack at the Mary Celeste mystery.
it's such a testament to the story's kind of enduring power that
Yeah.
it could capture the imagination of someone like Conan Doyle.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it really speaks, I think, to how compelling this mystery is.
So where does that leave us?
Yeah.
You and me and, everyone listening who's been on this journey with us.
Perhaps with just a renewed appreciation for, the
Yeah.
complexities of history, the enduring power of the sea,
Yeah.
and the mysteries that just lie kind of just beyond our grasp.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that still wants to, like, crack this case wide open.
As there should be, right?
Yeah.
It's that curiosity that drives us to learn, to question,
Uh-huh.
to keep exploring.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe someday someone listening to this very deep dive
Yeah.
will be the one to finally unravel the mystery of the Mary Celeste.
Now that's a thought.
Yeah.
So to all our listeners out there, we leave you with this.
Mm.
What if you were Captain Briggs
Ooh.
on that fateful voyage, facing uncertain waters, a potentially sinking ship, and, like, the weight of responsibility for your crew and your family?
Right. What would you do?
What choice would you make?
It's a question that lingers. Right.
It really does.
Long after the anchors have been weighed and the sails have been set.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into those mysteries that surround us.
Yep.